All right, welcome to the ongoing adventures of Dare Cruz Bravo.
Descend and maintain 17,000
Just been ordered to
feet
descend to
under
17,000 feet. About 20 minutes out from, throttle back here a little bit, from our destination of Hilton Head, South Carolina. Hilton Head, South Carolina. We took off, landed yesterday in Orlando. Very exciting flight. The flight was pretty routine, actually, from Biloxi. But had a missed approach for the first time, which is very cool. Lots of traffic out today. Anyway, we landed in Orlando, took off from Orlando for this short flight, just about 50 minutes, 55 minutes from Orlando to Hilton Head, South Carolina. Anyway, local time here on the off the coast of Georgia, I assume, right now. Yeah, just nearing the northeastern tip of Florida. Anyway, local time 5:31 p.m. UTC's, excuse me, 5:35. Forgive me. 5:35. 2:35 here in Southern California, where I am. We'll be landing at the RNAV approach to runway 03, runway length 5,000 feet, airport elevation 19 feet, approach course 033. No ILS frequency to enter in this time, but we'll enter our minimums, 480 feet, according to the approach plate. Entered. You see that now appears there. Looks like a pretty straightforward approach. I probably shouldn't say that, but I looked at the approach plate. I'll show you here on this. Look at our approach. HUNDO. There should be another one. Oh, where it is. GORGE. G-O-R-G. There's GORGE. Interesting. Well, on the approach waypoints that I entered on the setup page, GORGE was one of them. Let's try something. Again, just experimenting, okay? What I decided I'm going to do from now on, whenever I experiment with the flight plan, is to lock us to heading mode so that we don't have any dramatic turns by virtue of entering modifications to the flight plan. This should populate here momentarily. There it is. So there's our route. CRT, LLIP, Starry is where we're headed. Tibby. I see. After TYBEE. HUNDO. Well, let's click here. Add en route waypoint. Wait, hold on. Click Tibby, insert after, and we'll type in GORGE, G-O-R-G-E.
120.85 for generic for Bravo Lima.
Enter. Okay. Well, all right. There's Tibby. You saw that on there. Should be seeing GORGE somewhere between Tibby and HUNDO. Well, what I was going to say anyway was that HUNDO is, we should be at 1,800 feet. Gorge, we should be at 1,900 feet. I'm looking for Gorge to add that to the flight plan because that is our initial approach fix. Strange, I'm trying to insert Gorge after Tibby, and it doesn't want to do it. What if I tried inserting it before Hundo? Insert before. G-O-R-G-E. Enter. Uh-oh. Look at this. See, this is very weird. Why is it? Okay. Now I'm looking to remove that. Oh, here it is. Okay, remove. Now we have no waypoints. Boy, oh boy. We set our altimeter to 29 or 9 or 8. Look at this. Look at this. We screwed around with it. Now we don't have anything.
Geometry Whiskey Bravo descent and maintain 9,000 feet.
Down to 9,000. Whiskey Bravo. It's okay.
Descend
We're
and
fine.
maintain 9,000 feet.
This is what I meant though when I
Whiskey
talked
Bravo.
about switching to the heading bug. So right now we're not doing any crazy turns or anything like that as a result of trying to make these modifications. Let's see if we can try.
WestJet Flight 75 Jacksonville Center, continue as planned.
Driving me crazy. You see how I click on this and nothing happens? In a real Garmin G3000, this, if I clicked on this, it would allow me to enter it. No? So now we have the destination. You see Hundo, 1,800 feet.
Geometry Whiskey Bravo, contact Jacksonville Center on ONE 20.8 flight.
Boy, this is interesting. Okay.
Going to ONE 20.8
New challenge, new
Dr.
challenge.
Whiskey Bravo.
Let's try direct to.
Jacksonville Center, Dr. November 343 Whiskey Bravo is out of 15,400 feet for 9,000 feet.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Dr. November 343 Whiskey Bravo, Jacksonville Center, continue to TYVE as planned. Altimeter tree, 0.10.
Well, the good news is that it's still, air traffic control still seems to have me. But I have no navigational information right now. So this is actually, or could be actually, a very serious situation. I can't enter any information into the airport box, the approach box, transition box. I can't seem to do anything with my flight plan at origin. Well, actually, let's try doing Starry, since we know that's where we just left. That was our most recent waypoint.
American 1626 contact Jacksonville Center on ONE 26.7.
Just trying to
American 457
troubleshoot here.
Jacksonville Center on ONE 26.75. Generic 4
Nope.
Delta traffic in 10 o'clock 3 miles at 13,100 feet TBM 9. Report them in sight.
Luckily, with the ForeFlight app, I can see we're still on still on the course.
Is 11 o'clock 2 miles at 15,900 feet generic.
This buggy
Report them in sight.
flight plan feature is going to literally be the
Dr. Trey Whiskey
Activate.
Bravo have the generic in sight.
no. Oh, okay. Starry's behind us, apparently. All right, let's remove that.
126.75
After Starry, let's insert
457.
Tibby, whatever. T-Y-B-E-E.
126.75 American 1626.
Activate.
Generic.
Remove Starry. Add en route. Right now, I know that we're heading towards Tybee just because of the 4Flight app. Thank God for that.
Generic Fort Bravo Lima, you are 1 mile southwest. Descend and maintain 6,900 feet. Expect vectors visual
After
runway
Tybee
approach.
is Gorge. G-O-R-G-E. Enter that.
126.75, public yard 4461.
And then after that, Hundo.
Generic Fort Golf Delta contact Jacksonville Center on ONE 26.75.
And then after Hundo,
Descend and maintain 6,000.
oh, this thing's a hot mess. But if you notice up here,
Generic Fort Bravo Lima.
we apparently have at least some navigational information now. See this? Okay, so let's try removing Gorge. Boy, lots of troubleshooting going on here. Try removing Gorge. And actually doing, instead of Gorge is our destination, KHXD. KHXD. Okay, did we? Let's see if we can. Actually, let's go to
Whiskey Bravo descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
down to 3,000. Tower 3 Whiskey Bravo. Okay, just
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
very important not to panic. Just hold it together. Troubleshoot your problem. You know. Okay, it looks like I have managed, by some miracle, to reinsert the flight plan. It wasn't pretty. But we're okay. Now showing 22 nautical miles, 5 minutes 25 seconds from our next waypoint. Holy mackerel. I tell you.
Whiskey Bravo, you are 27 miles south. Descend and maintain 1,900 feet. Expect yard at runway tree approach via Gorge transition. Cleared to Gorge.
See, there we go again. Cleared to Gorge, but Gorge isn't showing up.
Tree Whiskey Bravo, you are 26 miles south of Hilton Head. Contact Hilton Head Tower on 118.975 when inbound on the approach.
This is very tense.
Tower on 118.975.
They reestablish
Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
FMS on the nav. Okay.
Hilton Head Tower Docker November.
Wow.
4 Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Well, it
25
worked
miles
out.
South inbound RNAV runway tree approach.
I mean, I guess you shouldn't say that until you get on the ground, but
November tree 4 tree Whiskey Bravo Hilton Head Tower. Cleared RNAV runway tree approach. Altimeter tree 0.111.026 at tree 1.
3011026 at 31.
Cleared RNAV runway tree approach. Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Jesus Christ. 31 knot winds. Luckily, it's at a 026, and our approach course happens to be 033, so the tiniest of crosswinds, but quite a stiff wind we're heading into. Interesting that the winds are 026 at 31 when we have winds currently from the kind of the west-northwest. Should expect to see them shift rather dramatically. Still descending now, 1,200 feet per minute, showing us 3 minutes 55 seconds to Hundo. Recall we need to be at 1,800 feet at Hundo. We are at 5,600 feet right now, so we need to lose another, what? 20, 30, 40, 3,500 feet in 3.5 minutes. 1,200 times 3 is 3,600 feet, so we're fine. Descending it, fine. Well, I just never cease to be amazed at how this this sim just really, you got it. I suppose in many ways it's not realistic, but in other ways perhaps it's quite realistic. One way I suppose it's a little unrealistic is that some of the equipment doesn't work as it should because it's still buggy. But by the same token, that was kind of, it's rather useful. Turn on our initial separator. To have a scenario where something goes wrong, what will you do? How will you handle the problem? Because I got news for you. You need to handle the problem. You can't just look the other way. You know, we're thousands of feet above the ground, flying along here, and I'm not going to press escape. I'm not going to... For people who are new to this, I can understand if you want to use AI assist and all that stuff. I don't like to do that, though. I like to figure this out on my own. That's the satisfaction of it. Well, anyway, now we have an episode of dealing with a not insignificant problem. That is the complete loss of our flight plan and all navigational information on our multifunction display. I'd characterize that as potentially concerning. Anyway, closing in on HUNDO right now. 2 minutes, 18 seconds away. Showing 4 minutes, 7 seconds to our destination, probably more like 5.5. Just 13 miles though, and we're at 3,000 feet. I generally like to be at 3,000 feet at about 10 miles, so we're good. Start slowing our airplane even more. Minimum's entered at 480, but obviously no problem with that. Looks like an absolutely beautiful fall day. Look at the water. Gosh. Just so pretty. We'll see how that water and its condition changes as we finish our approach here, because it's very windy. And by the way, take a look. Look how the winds have shifted now. Straight at us. We'll see if that 31 knot comment is accurate. But right now it's hustling. All right, we'll go through our approach checklist. GIFLY, gear, put that down. Inertial separator, got that. We're leveling out now at 1900. I'll go ahead and try to see if we can do our approach. I'm not getting any glide slope information, but in theory we should have that. Remember, at HUNDO we need to be at 1900 feet. We're at 1930 right now, and we're just 96 seconds from HUNDO, so that's just fine. Yeah, flying the RNAV, you know, you're not going to have an ILS approach, but we should still be receiving information. It might have been screwed up by the flight plan catastrophe. It's not a problem, because at this point, let's pop up in the seat. You actually see for yourself. There's the runway. Right there. So I could... Interesting, we're kind of not entirely aligned with it. That'll probably, or should change anyway, soon enough. Watch our airspeed. We'll put around 1 notch of flaps. Anyway, it's interesting when something like this happens. I can't help but think about the implications in a situation where, you know, if the weather wasn't good or whatever. But I will tell you that, you know, relying on a variety of other techniques, whether it's ForeFlight, whether it's sort of partially rescuing our flight plan on the MFD, I do believe that it's plausible to handle an approach like this, even in adverse weather. and without everything working as it's supposed to be working. Gonna go ahead and disengage the autopilot. Just one more second. We are now lined up. I will note that. Once we got to Hundo, we turned.
Dahmer Tree Whiskey Bravo cleared to land runway tree. Wind 257 at 15.
Wait, what? 257 at 15? That's completely wrong.
Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Completely wrong. 257 is out of the west-southwest. And right now we see it coming straight at us. Still some bugs. Alright, disengage the autopilot. We just crossed Hundo and we should be descending a little bit more aggressively than we are. Flaps. Lucky for us, we got good weather. Showing us about 3.5 minutes to touchdown. Anyway, Gifley, gear, initial separator, flaps, fuel. Fuel is fine. Landing lights. And yaw damper deactivated. Hey. Well, this was an adventure. As always, the ongoing adventures of Dare 3 Whiskey Bravo. Airspeed's good, 90 knots, getting bounced around here, for sure. Luckily no crosswind, but the winds are headed straight at us, 21, 22 knots. I do notice, or I have noticed, that you don't get gusting information. They just say winds are, 0, 3, 1 at 2, 5. They don't say gusting. It's possible that the number they gave us that I expressed some skepticism regarding of whatever it was, 026 at 3.1, I think. At 3.1 number could be the gusting number. I can see the poppy now. Take a look. 1 red, 3 whites. That's good. 2 mile final. Runway 03. Confirm 3 in the green. 2 red, 2 white. Airspeed's good, 90 knots. Airspeed's bouncing around a little bit because of the wind. Our ground speed right now is only 73 knots because of the wind, the headwind that we're headed into. 2 and 2 on the poppies, precision approach path indicators. Other than the gusty conditions, the weather is perfect.
November to Uniform Golf, 25 miles north inbound RNAV runway 21 approach. Generic November to Uniform Golf, Hilton Head Tower.
500 AGL.
Runway 20 approach. Altimeter tree 0.14 wind 257 and 15.
Somebody else coming in on one of the other runways might be getting different weather information than I am. Again, you just keep a sharp eye on that poppy, and you can you don't have to guess as to whether you're too high or too low. You just keep those lights, 2 whites, 2 reds. You saw it just shifted to 3 whites and 1 red. The more whites you are, the higher you are. The more reds you are, the lower you are. You want 2 and 2. Airspeed's perfect, 86 knots. Flaps deployed, gears down. 5,000 foot long runway. Runway 3 confirmed. Look at that windsock on the left, not consistent with the wind data I'm getting. And idle. Whoops. Ooh, a little rougher than I like. Wind always makes for an additional challenge, I'll tell you that much. Now the winds have suddenly shifted to a tailwind. That's funny. Ah. Ah. Yikes.
Dahmer Tree Whiskey Bravo, turn next
Ooh.
taxiway.
My goodness, that was a little high anxiety. I'll have to watch that again on the replay and see when and how it was that the wind shifted.
Dollar Tree Whiskey Bravo, contact ground on ONE 21.1.
Flaps brought in. Ground.
Kronos 1022 Hilton Head Tower. Cleared RNAV runway 20
Taxi.
approach.
Pulse off.
Altimeter tree 0.14 wind 257 at 15.
Contact ground.
1.1 Dollar Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Taxi to parking.
Hilton Head ground Dollar November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo, request taxi to parking.
Yeah, you see that sock?
Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo, taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo.
Somehow that wind turned into a tailwind.
General aviation parking via taxiway Bravo, Dollar Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Sounds like that other guy who's coming in is probably coming in on the right runway. But you don't have to take my word for it. I mean, you saw the indicator on the PFD showed winds from the right in front of us, and you heard the ATC say it was 02631, and then all of a sudden it turned from the north to the west. Man, this thing's really... I'm just left rudder, left rudder, left rudder. It wants to turn into that wind. I kind of explained our kind of wild landing because of the either the wind shift or just generally you don't want to land with a tailwind, especially a significant one. It'll complicate things. But hey, what's the important thing? We're on the ground. It was not a butter landing. I will concede that. It was not a catastrophic landing, and it wasn't a unrealistic landing. It was a little rough, though. Rougher than I like. That wind will toss you around. We think of airplanes as these large, sturdy, strong objects, and to be sure they are, but they're also basically giant kites. And Mother Nature's going to do what she wants to them. Make our left turn. I'm going to make the left a little early here because it looks to me like they want to have us drive through it another TBM. Make our left. But on the upside, we will have our half-hour episode today without any problems. Look for Gary. There he is. A little chilly out. Not chilly. It's a beautiful fall day, 16 degrees. I have to ballpark that, but I'd say that's in the low 60s. Maybe 58. Off the taxi light. There we go. Okay. Parking brake. Commercial separator. Local time 6:03. Acknowledge that. Our lights taken care of. And we'll shut off everything else here. AP off trims. Fuel selector, manual. Already got the aux PP. Depressurize. Okay. All right, friends. Well, not a approach without incident. It's funny. I make these comments when I start my videos of this looks pretty routine, etc., and then it turns out to be anything but. Looks like our altimeter information might be incorrect too, because you see this is now showing -20. Let's see what it actually is. 3015. Well, last I heard it was 3010. Anyway, ultimately moot because we had perfect visual conditions. So that's it. We're in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Gotta go find a hotel. Ciao.